Xin chào quý vị khán giả và các hội viên của California Fitness and Yoga. Mình là Ruby Nguyen. Chắc hẳn trong thời gian gần đây, quý vị cũng có thấy sau gần 20 năm hoạt động tại Việt Nam thì California đang có những chuyển mình rất là lớn với những thay đổi về mặt chiến lược, mô hình vận hành cũng như trải nghiệm của hội viên. Và ngày hôm nay chúng ta sẽ ngồi cùng với anh Dane Fort là đồng chủ tịch và đồng sáng lập của California để tìm hiểu cụ thể hơn những lý do đằng sau những sự thay đổi này và điều này sẽ tạo ra những giá trị gì cho cộng đồng trong thời gian sắp tới.
Thank you so much, Ruby. I'm so excited to have this opportunity to speak today. I'm even more excited to give my gratitude and thanks for the last 20 years for all of our members, all of our partners, and all of our Cali family members. We've been through a lot in the last 20 years, and I'm so excited to share the next chapter, the California One Life Reimagined, in this conversation. So thank you for being with us here today.
Chào anh, và theo những gì mà mình hiểu thì California đang chuyển mình từ một mạng lưới phòng tập có độ phủ rất là rộng trên toàn quốc thành một nền tảng sống khỏe chủ động, chuyên sâu hơn, với nhiều trải nghiệm cá nhân hóa hơn và ứng dụng công nghệ nhiều hơn. Nhưng mà câu hỏi trước tiên đó là tại sao California cần thay đổi? Sau gần 20 năm hoạt động tại Việt Nam và xây dựng được một cái thành công như vậy, một người dẫn đầu thị trường, tại sao không lựa chọn cái việc là tiếp tục cải thiện mô hình hiện tại mà phải lựa chọn một cuộc thay đổi chuyển mình rất là lớn ạ?
Over the last 20 years, probably our most valuable asset has been all the errors and mistakes and failures that we've had. And it's understanding that if we truly want to pivot and be more than a fitness center and actually become the integrated wellness ecosystem, this is going to be based on trust. And when you talk about healthcare, it's rooted in trust, yes. Right? And understanding that who we've been the last 20 years, we have to see where we've made those mistakes. We have to shift, and instead of just being the company that opens more fitness centers, we actually have to address the actual member needs, which has shifted. 20 years ago, when a member joined California, they maybe just joined to join a yoga class or join a aerobic class or just lift some weights. But now the members are much more educated. They want something more personalized, individualized. They need something that is addressing, their proactive health needs, not just something that is for, getting six-pack abs or losing body fat or something like that. It goes beyond that.
Anh vừa đề cập tới những sai lầm và thất bại, thì đâu là sai lầm lớn nhất mà anh vẫn trăn trở tới ngày hôm nay? Hoặc nói một cách khác thì điều gì khi mà anh nhìn lại thì anh nghĩ rằng là mình sẽ không bao giờ làm điều này nữa trong tương lai?
Yeah. When I say mistakes and failures, it's actually two sides of the same coin. Those mistakes and failures actually got us to where we're at today. In the first 20 years, we allocated resources maybe to open as many clubs as possible. And that was a very kind of wide approach strategy where we thought the more clubs that we added, the more success we'd have and the more profit we could generate. Yeah. Going big necessarily isn't really adding value to the members, and adding more clubs isn't necessarily growing more profit. Yeah. And that's really understanding the last 20 years. And I think that's why it's our greatest asset. So it's how we can get really focused, disciplined, with intent, and shift to the new innovations that are happening at a global scale.
Cảm ơn anh đã công khai thừa nhận những thiếu sót của California cũng như là ngành fitness. Tuy nhiên thì để công bằng mà nói, trong những cái sai sót đấy thì mình vẫn thấy là mọi người đã tạo ra được những đóng góp rất là tích cực cho xã hội. Đó là việc khuyến khích được rất là nhiều người bắt đầu vận động và quan tâm đến sức khỏe của mình. Và giờ đây thì câu chuyện đã khác. Anh cho rằng ngành fitness đang vận hành theo tư duy cũ của nhiều năm trước. Vậy thì tầm nhìn mới mà anh muốn mang tới cho toàn ngành, cho tất cả mọi người cùng hướng tới chính xác là gì ạ?
For me it's about discipline and intention. Do you really love what you do? Are you in the business for the right reason? I visit hospitals quite oftenly to develop partnerships and work on the narrative of moving from a reactive healthcare system to a proactive healthcare system. Just this last week, I went to the largest international stroke hospital in Vietnam, in Can Tho, and I was talking to the owner, who is a doctor of the hospital, and he says that he sees 1,200 stroke patients per day. Wow. And he leaned into me and he said, Dane, 95% of them are preventable.
Yeah.
And this is where we talk about reallocating our resources. And we don't talk about like we need to open up 100 locations or something like this. We need a few thousand wellness advisors that are so professional and passionate about what they do that they're never disrupting you. They're adding value to your workout. And it's just about training them the right way. And that's where we need to be allocating our resources. People talk to me, how are you spending your money or capital and that type of stuff, and you should be opening more clubs.
Yeah.
And at some point, yeah, I think that's okay if you're ready to do it. But for me, it's about investing in the people and making sure they have the right education so our members and potential members don't feel, hassled. They walk away after the workout at California feeling like, wow, I had a great experience.
Với tư cách của người lãnh đạo thì anh đối diện với những khó khăn trong quá trình thay đổi này như thế nào? Đặc biệt là những thách thức đến từ việc thay đổi nhân sự và những nhân sự chủ chốt của công ty.
Change is hard. Transformation is a wake-up call. And realizing that maybe you don't have the right people in the right position. And those people that are in the position helped you to get where you're at. And you need to change the people, or you need to change the structure, or you need to change the identity. I think this is the hardest part. It's not how much it will actually cost. It's about changing who we were and getting new people and new perspective in to actually challenge our way of thinking.
Yeah.
This is a painful process.
Yeah.
Actually not having people to say like, oh, you're doing a great job and this and that, because we've heard this 1,000 times, 1,000,000 times.
Yeah.
California is so successful. We don't need to hear that. We need to hear the reality. Where's our gaps? And how can we fill in those gaps? And we've started that process, and it's been like looking in the mirror, and it's very hard. So for me, this would be the most difficult thing to handle, because we've already started it,
Yeah.
and it is painful. But I think with struggle and pain, there's progress.
Anh có nhắc tới vài lần rằng California đang chuyển mình từ một mạng lưới có độ phủ rộng sang một doanh nghiệp đi sâu hơn vào trải nghiệm của hội viên. Điều đó đòi hỏi những sự đánh đổi nhất định, đúng không ạ? Chính xác thì chuyển từ rộng sang sâu có nghĩa là gì? Liệu có phải là California đang thu hẹp quy mô, giảm số lượng câu lạc bộ hoặc hội viên để thực hiện mục tiêu này hay không?
Yeah, from wide to depth just means how do we understand our members better? Do we need more locations to service them, or do we need the right products and services to help them achieve their goals? And maybe in the future we'll have less clubs, maybe we'll have more clubs, but it's not about that. It's about how we ensure that we're always delivering health, happiness, and hope to our members and helping them achieve the goals of why they came in to see us in the first place. And I think a company like us that has been around for 20 years, we go through these kind of iterations, and sometimes you have consolidation, sometimes you have locations where lease ends, sometimes we go through growth spurts. But at the end of the day, it's being solely focused on the experience of our member. I believe that every time our member checks in, they're on a scale of 1 to 10 on mental health, maybe they check in at a 4 or 5. And after they're done with their workout or yoga session or meeting with a personal trainer, they need to be a 6 or 7. That's what we need to focus on.
Cảm ơn anh đã chia sẻ rất là thẳng thắn. Mình hiểu rằng là thay đổi thì đã rất là khó rồi, nhưng mà công khai nhìn được vào cái mặt sai sót của mình và đồng thời có một cái sự dũng cảm để dẫn dắt cả một ngành bước vào một cuộc đổi mới thì còn khó hơn rất là nhiều. Và cá nhân mình thì rất là ủng hộ tầm nhìn này của anh dành cho tương lai của ngành fitness và wellness tại Việt Nam. Tuy nhiên thì thành thực mà nói rằng thì là tầm nhìn cho tới thực tế thì anh làm kinh doanh anh biết rồi đúng không ạ, là một khoảng cách rất là xa. Cụ thể thì California Fitness sẽ thay đổi điều gì trong hoạt động kinh doanh của mình và trải nghiệm của hội viên của mình nữa để thực hiện hóa cái tầm nhìn này ạ?
Yeah, it's a good question. And it is very ambitious. The first one is we can take a look at physical space. If we truly want to reallocate, reinvest, rebuild into a preventative healthcare wellness ecosystem, we have to have the right physical spaces. And we have to look at our existing clubs and which ones can really be a ecosystem that can hold all the products and services of who we need to be to get to that next stage. One example is we opened our first California One Life in Thao Dien. And it's truly a integrated ecosystem where we have beauty, we have recovery, we have physical therapy, we have High Rocks Training Center. So it's the first space that has really integrated the full wellness ecosystem together. And it's a perfect example. It's kind of a photocopy for us.
I see.
But not all of our locations can be transformed into that. So we have to take a real look at all of our locations and how we'll transform the physical space. That's the first step, looking at how we become the true preventative healthcare wellness company. The next is more from a product perspective. So like I said, when a member joined in 2007, they just bought a membership and they came and worked out and they did a class and it was easy as 1, 2, 3.
Yeah.
But now it's different. Vietnamese are very educated. They know exactly what they want. So we have to stay a step ahead.
Yeah.
And the wants and needs of our members 20 years ago are very different than now. So we've rolled out many different products in the last 6 months, and we're rolling out more in the next 6 months. And some of those are physical therapy, stretching, corrective exercise, High Rocks partnerships, recovery centers with hyperbaric chambers, red light therapy, pelvic floor chair. I can go on and on.
Okay.
So many products and services
awesome.
that we're offering. But when we offer these products and services, we realize that we can't be the expert in everything. So the key here, again, this word keeps on popping up in our conversation, is collaboration. So for example, our physical therapy business, we partnered with the Ho Chi Minh City University of Physical Therapy and Infectious Disease. So they're the leading experts at creating therapists for physio. So we work with them to build out that product. So we choose the best thought leaders and the best in class in a specific product. We bring them on and then we offer that to our members. So that's kind of the second pillar, the products. So we have the physical space, the products. The next is a little bit of understanding where we made the mistakes the last 20 years.
Okay.
I think transparency is key. You know, I hate it when a member comes up to me and they said that, why did I pay this amount but my friend paid that
I have the same
amount?
experience. I hate it too.
And you know, sometimes it's because they don't understand, they have different services and different things like that. But also we have a lot of responsibility in that as well. Yeah. So what we're doing is we're completely changing our pricing to be fully transparent. And instead of being something that is a buffet, where you go in and you can kind of eat everything and nothing is tailored, nothing is individualized, so the member doesn't feel special that they got something that is for them. We're making a la carte menu. So when someone comes in, they can have membership, and then if they want yoga, they can add that on. If they want physical therapy, if they want blood tests, if they want recovery, we can truly individualize from an a la carte perspective a membership and wellness journey for our member. So the pricing is going to be standard, no matter what. The only thing we'll deviate is the a la carte. Are you going to get the beef or the lobster? Or are you going to get the, you know, the recovery or the yoga? The fourth one is also looking back, hindsight being 2020. How have we really used data to individualize the program and the wellness journey of our members? So how are we harnessing that data? And also how are we protecting it? So when we do grow again, there's no deviation in member experience.
Mình thực sự rất là quan tâm tới mô hình dịch vụ cá nhân mà anh vừa mô tả. Nhưng thực tế để vận hành được mô hình này thì California sẽ cần một niềm tin rất là lớn của hội viên. Thì có hai thứ liên quan đến niềm tin ở đây. Thứ nhất đó là hội viên có thể tin rằng dữ liệu sức khỏe của họ sẽ được bảo vệ và không bị lạm dụng không ạ? Và thứ hai đó là cái tính minh bạch. Hội viên có thể biết chính xác mình đang mua gì và mức giá bao nhiêu, liệu mình mua ngày hôm nay có khác với người bạn mình mua ngày mai hay không. Thì đấy là những thứ mà mình rất là quan tâm để có thể hiểu hơn về gói dịch vụ cá nhân hóa này mà anh vừa nói tới.
So I think all of those points that you made are underpinned by one thing. The fitness industry has always been notorious about overpromise and under-delivering. In our products and services, how you build trust is you under-promise and over-deliver, and making sure that you have the best partners and collaborate with the best people possible. And you train your people to deliver. That's the key. And from a data perspective, the data is only used to personalize the program for you. Like I said, there's 8 billion people in the world, and everyone's DNA is different. And the only thing that we use the data for is being able to understand what program is going to help you get the safest and quickest results possible based on your goals. So for me, those are the two things. And the transparency on the pricing, that's where when we switch to this idea of, instead of being a buffet where everything gets blended and then pricing is not understood, we make it very clear from now on. That's why this pillar is so important for transparency and building trust, is that we have a membership that is posted online. It's very clear to see. And then each service that you add onto that is a la carte service.
Khi hợp tác với các đối tác bên ngoài, California sẽ làm gì để đảm bảo rằng họ đáp ứng được đúng tiêu chuẩn mà công ty cam kết với hội viên của mình? Và đồng thời thì ai sẽ là người hướng dẫn hội viên hiểu được kết quả của mình và biết rằng mình cần phải làm gì cụ thể trong thời gian tiếp theo? Đây là những người đến từ California hay là đội ngũ chuyên gia từ các đối tác khác ạ?
It's great questions. On the first part, partnering and cooperation, we take that very seriously. And just like when a company buys another company, they go through a process called due diligence. And they really deep dive how their customers are serviced. So any partner that we choose, they are the best in class in that specific vertical. Just like our physiotherapy example, we partnered with the Ho Chi Minh City University of Physical Therapy. They're best in class in Vietnam. Or if you look at blood tests, we partner with companies like Diab or maybe Huan Mi Hospital, who are best in class in what they do. And that kind of comes down to the executive team. We don't delegate that out to anyone. We make sure if we partner with someone and we know that our member is going to be in their hands, that is an extension of us. And we recognize that. And we got to make sure that they are treated just like they're treated within our four walls.
Giả sử tôi đã hoàn thành tất cả các xét nghiệm và đánh giá sức khỏe mà anh vừa nói tới, thế thì ai sẽ là người tổng hợp kết quả, sau đó tư vấn cho tôi về việc tập luyện, rồi dinh dưỡng, rồi những điều cần tránh hay cần làm? Đó là chuyên gia của California hay là của các đối tác khác ạ?
You know, it's a combination of how we use technology, how we use AI, but actually it comes down to people. We talk about the 3 R's again, the rebuild, reinvest, reallocate resources. And part of that reallocation is how we train our personal trainers to upskill them and ensure we have the right trainers to move into a health coach role. Well, they'll be able to take your blood test, take your medical reports, take your health check, and understand your goals, and then move you on your journey. And maybe your health coach won't be the one that actually is delivering your personal training session, but they'll be the one advising the trainer to make sure that they're on track, and they'll check in with you from time to time. So I think it's a combination of how we utilize technology, how we utilize our partners, and making sure our physical locations are equipped to deliver that kind of wellness journey all under one roof. And then reallocating the time, effort, and energy to ensure that our trainers are equipped to answer those questions. And I won't say that all the trainers in our club will be, but we'll have 3 or 4 or 5 in every club that will be able to service the members in that location.
Cảm ơn anh đã có những chia sẻ rất là minh bạch. Mình có thể thấy đây là một quá trình đòi hỏi nhiều công sức và vốn đầu tư của đội ngũ. California có kế hoạch mở rộng mạng lưới của mình, một cái mạng lưới mà gọi là nền tảng sống khỏe toàn diện, đúng không ạ? Tại nhiều khu vực khác nhau hay không? Và khi nào thì đội ngũ của anh sẽ thực hiện công việc đó?
Absolutely. We have to be relentless and uncompromising about this. But this is where the discipline and intent comes in, because not all the locations can be changed to this kind of California One Life wellness hub. So we have to be realistic that maybe some existing locations won't be able to be transformed We talk about reinvest and reallocate and renew. All the locations that we can, they have the capacity and the location makes sense for it, we will, but not all will. But the intent is that all the existing Californias will be transformed into wellness hubs so we can deliver that complete wellness ecosystem. Most can. There'll be a few that won't be able to. And there'll be future clubs that we open that will be opened as brand new wellness hubs.
Tôi thấy mô hình này rất là hay, và là một hội viên thì nếu như mà anh làm được những gì anh vừa mô tả ấy, thì thậm chí tôi có thể chuyển nhà tới gần trung tâm của California hơn để đạt được những cái nhu cầu sống của mình. Và thực sự là tôi hy vọng California sẽ kiên định để biến tầm nhìn này thành hiện thực.
Absolutely. You know, I have a saying, you have to reinvent yourself or die. So this to us means everything. And you know, we take seriously the 100,000 and some members that we have in our network that are working out every single day. They trust us with their health and their wellness, and we take that so seriously. So for us to sit back and not iterate and not evolve, shame on us. And again, since we've been here for 20 years and we basically founded the industry, it's up to us to make this change. And I hope that the competitors will follow suit.
California sẽ phân bổ lại nguồn lực giữa các câu lạc bộ cũng như danh mục sản phẩm và dịch vụ trên toàn quốc như thế nào ạ?
So this is where the double D comes into play, the discipline, not distress. And this is the message I want all of our team and all of our members and all of our partners to understand. When we are growing or when clubs are closing down, it's for a reason. And I think that we've already talked about why we would close down an existing location. One, the lease would expire. And two, it just doesn't fit in the California Wellness Hub journey, our four pillar. So in the next few months, we will have a few locations, actually 2 in Hanoi and 2 in Ho Chi Minh closed down. All 4 because the lease has expired. And it happens that all 4 also don't fit into the future of a integrated wellness ecosystem, actually being a California One wellness hub. So that's on the horizon, and it's very difficult when you have been in a location for 10 years or 15 years, but being in business for 20 years, it kind of comes with the territory that sometimes you open new clubs and sometimes clubs close and we reallocate or move locations. It's just part of doing business in Vietnam. But there's a specific reason for it.
Ở góc độ kinh doanh thì mình hiểu là việc đóng lại một số địa điểm mà không còn hiệu quả kinh doanh hoặc không phù hợp với định hướng tương lai của một doanh nghiệp là chuyện rất bình thường. Nhưng với cương vị là một hội viên đã tập tại một phòng tập nhiều năm rồi, việc đóng cửa sẽ ảnh hưởng trực tiếp tới thói quen luyện tập và cộng đồng của họ, đúng không ạ? Vậy thì California sẽ xử lý quyền lợi và trải nghiệm của những hội viên bị mất đi phòng tập yêu thích của họ như thế nào ạ?
Yeah, we take this so seriously, and we realize that we're such an important part of all of our members' life, especially in these locations that will be reallocated or restructured. Every member we will talk to individually, because every member has a different membership, they have different needs and different wants, and we'll make sure that they're compensated appropriately. The locations that are not going to stay open due to lease reasons or they don't fit into the wellness hub strategy, they're very near other Californias. So all members will be reallocated to another California that's very near. They'll be upgraded, they'll have more months, they'll have more sessions with their personal trainer. But more importantly, they'll be part of the next iteration, the next chapter of California. So instead of just having a California where they come in and work out, they'll actually be part of a California that will be able to address and individualize their program and be detailed for them.
Ban nãy anh có chia sẻ rằng California định vị mình là một công ty chăm sóc sức khỏe. Vậy thì trong lĩnh vực hay trong thị trường chăm sóc sức khỏe thì anh nghĩ rằng mình sẽ định vị ở đâu và khác biệt với đối thủ của mình như thế nào ạ?
I have to be real. I know that we'll never be a hospital, but I believe that I have the voice and the passion to bring different groups together and have a conversation of how we can switch the mindset from being reactive to proactive. So I think that's the key of where we will sit with the California Wellness Hub and the integrated wellness journey is there's always going to be healthcare providers like hospitals and clinics, but instead of reactive, we're going to change that word to proactive. And I think that's when we have the conversation with the government, the private sector, and all the collaborators and all of our partners that we can really make that difference and create those 1 billion years of quality of life.
Có vẻ như là chiến lược cạnh tranh của California không phải chỉ là cạnh tranh mà còn tập hợp các doanh nghiệp, thậm chí trong đấy có cả đối thủ, rồi cả chính phủ nữa để cùng hướng tới một tầm nhìn chung, đúng không ạ?
We don't have the ego of we can do this alone. It is a collaborative approach. Like I said, we couldn't open enough Californias to serve the demand in the next 10 years. So we need everyone on the same page. That's why we're having this conversation today, and I'm really appreciative of your time, and I'm really appreciative of all the members and the teams that have supported us. But it's the next chapter now. So now it's about execution and putting the plan in place and making sure that we become who we need to be for the next 10, 20 years.
Một chiến lược mới thì chắc chắn sẽ đòi hỏi những sự lựa chọn rõ ràng về nguồn lực, đúng không ạ? Thế thì California sẽ ưu tiên đầu tư vào những lĩnh vực nào và phân bổ lại nguồn lực như thế nào giữa việc nâng cấp câu lạc bộ hiện hữu này, phát triển sản phẩm mới và công nghệ cũng như là đào tạo đội ngũ ạ?
You know, and we talk about our ambitious plan. You know, we call it our 4-pillar plan. So part of that is knowing that we have to shift from being a fitness company that was focused on sales and marketing to being a integrated wellness ecosystem. And I know that sounds, you know, big and fancy and everything, but that's where this kind of disciplined and intentional focus comes from, is like, how do we train our team and not get addicted to just opening more clubs? How do we have a disciplined approach at going deep and making sure that the people that we have on the front lines really know how to communicate and help you achieve your true goals that you want? And a lot of times when people say, I just want to be healthier, it's true, sometimes they don't know exactly what they want. They don't know what they want yet, and they're looking for guidance. And they don't need to have all the answers immediately because it's a journey. And probably when you first started working out, maybe 10 or 15 years ago, your goals are different than what you want now. So a great personal trainer or a great wellness advisor is someone that is going to grow with you hand in hand. And that's part of the strategic approach that we have, because our team needs the products and services to go along with that. I mean, we had some members that joined when they were 25 years old, and now they've been with us for 20 years. So they're 45 now. So they need a specific program that's designed for a woman who's 45 years old. It's completely different than when they joined. And before, we didn't have those products and services. We had membership and we had PT and you have yoga. So now it's discipline being, we realize we don't need to open more clubs to be really successful and more profitable. We need to put the attention on the member at where they're at now and have the service and product that will help them realize their goals.
Mình nghĩ cuộc trò chuyện ngày hôm nay thực sự rất cần thiết và có ý nghĩa. Cảm ơn anh đã chia sẻ rất cởi mở, không chỉ về những bài học trong quá khứ của mình mà còn cả về tầm nhìn mới cũng như cách mà California sẽ biến nó thành hiện thực. Thực sự tôi rất trân trọng cuộc trò chuyện ngày hôm nay. Cảm ơn anh đã dành thời gian.
Absolutely. I guess if I have one weakness, I don't get out enough. And I want to use this conversation as a inflection point where I can open my doors to everyone. And I want to be a part of those conversations because I believe that we can add value in achieving this shared outcome for Vietnam. I consider myself Vietnamese. My kids are Vietnamese. It's very important to me that we're servicing children all the way to senior citizens. And I believe with our 20 years experience, we have a lot of value to add. You know, a lot of companies, they look at customer lifetime value. And we always had the meaning of that, how much money we can collect from our customers over the lifetime that they're with us. But now we shift that meaning. It's how much value that we can bring to those customers during their lifetime that they can spend with us. And I think that's what this whole reimagination and new chapter is all about for the next 20 years.
I really appreciate the conversation today. Thank you so much.
I really appreciate your time too. Thank you, Ruby.